Welcome back to Mortal Kombat Armageddon. In between parts, I reloaded the games, and now Taven's fine again.
Aww. But I liked Torso and One Arm Man.
Well, if I remember correctly, you're gonna see him again eventually, not now.
Well, why not? In fact, I got a Mortal Kombat-esque name for him. Call him Torsarm or something.
Okay, so as you can guess, you have to basically do your. This is a very basic dodge the thing and go to those walls every time it shoots. It's as dirt simple as you're thinking.
Just know when to zig and then zag.
Basically.
Looks like you're inside a pumpkin. Oh, press B to skip.
All right, and now we can. Oh, there goes.
It's okay. His body parts fell away, but his torso remained.
Yeah, he's back. The best character in the game.
Taven, you left the rest of your body back there.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't care.
Don't worry. I was just gonna say, don't worry, guys. Torsarm will take care of it. He's back to normal now.
Alright, now we can open this door. Oh wait, so not this door, the other door.
I've noticed there's customization for the creative fighter.
Yes, trust me, Jova, that's not even, like, this, one of the worst things about this game is create a fatality.
Wait, really?
Basically, Jova, there are no fatalities in this game, you just have to create a fatality, but, I'll explain more when we get to it.
I'm not playing this game. I wonder what the creative fighter would have done if I would have done. I'll probably take a bit of.
Okay, Noob, calm the fuck down.
No, don't you see, Tia? That Lin Kuei warrior has been corrupted.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright, here we go again.
On your own.
But I think I've got it. If I had played this game for us and I was going to make a creative fighter, I would have taken a bit of something from each of you guys and melded it into one.
Sure.
Like I would have taken Pedro's cooking well, not skills more so because he's a waiter, more like experience of seeing it. So he has a cookery gimmick. Jova's jack of all trades stats, and Tio's
an alchemist.
No, I'll just give him his stash.
Okay.
Well, he does apparently have a very good mustache.
Yeah, that's what I'll give him. And unfortunately, I cannot include something from Shiroi and Deji because they aren't in these games.
Although with Tio's mustache, would that make him the Vegeta?
He's not a trucker one, Jova, and besides, I prefer the goatee than just that.
Alright.
But what would we include from me? I got it. My height.
Okay.
Oops, I'm higher. I'm taller than you. Shush.
We've already got your, Tio, we've already got your mustache. I've got to have something.
But that's the thing, though. Tio's the tallest of us, so if anything, it should be his height that's used.
What are we going to use from me then?
I don't know.
Your eyes?
No, I got it. His ability to fool people by changing his voice, since you guys seem to like it when I do different voices.
Alright, cutscene.
Hello.
Alright, let's see what's next.
Cool story, bro.
Wow, what an amazing cutscene! You won't escape!
So yeah, this is Smoke, because remember, the thing with Smoke and Noob is that nowadays they're working together.
How the mighty have fallen.
Smoke looks way different than I remember him.
Well, remember, he's literally just a cloud of smoke at this point. This is, I guess Noob, quote-unquote, reformed him.
in his own special way, naturally.
Obviously.
I feel like he's had a more consistent form than this, though. Like,
Yeah.
again.
This is also one of the advantages of a reboot, because at the very least we showcase him in human form for the most part. Even the character of Triborg in 10, in X, which is also partially based on Cyborg Smoke, at the very least keeps the more humanoid appearance.
Indeed. Give it up, Smoke. But yeah, like I was saying, again, it really is one of those cases where you really have to understand. A lot of the stuff in this game is explained by the behind-the-scenes development. This game really suffered with Midway's crisis.
Flawless victory.
Defeated, Smoke teleported away. He may have lost, but Smoke's master would know of this interloper who has ruined their plans against Linkway.
I don't know if it's more awkward than all the written dialogue from Nier, which obviously had to be put in due to budget cuts, but dang, does it feel awkward. Actually, Tio, does the remake of Nier rectify any of that?
Well,
What
no,
do you mean?
no, Joe, but remember...
You know how one of your complaints of the original Nier was that apparently a lot of the script had to be written because they didn't have enough budget to properly showcase it in cutscene formats and whatnot? I was wondering, was that one of the things they rectified in the remake?
Partially. Some stuff of it was only written or talked about or even omitted is present immediately in the form of like extra dialogues, extra cutscenes, or entire plot lines. But other stuff, it's still kept in text format, and even in some cases, it's even added still in text format.
It feels like an intentional decision more than anything, Joe,
Yeah.
because Taro is a fan of old text adventure games.
Well, again, though, we do know the case that, unfortunately, a lot of it was truly because he couldn't fit it in cutscene-wise.
True, but I get at this point he decided to embrace it as a gimmick, at least for the first title.
Because,
Oh, absolutely. And in that case, I can agree that maybe it doesn't feel as bad there because at least you
You'll
can
be
argue
able
that
to
some
see
of
it on your
feels
own.
natural.
Honestly, it's pretty fine, at least for this new version. The new version is definitely the definitive version of the game anyway. It's still missing a couple of things.
I was actually going to ask, but I'll ask after this cutscene.
Or you will die.
Hey, Noob.
We shall see.
And he just leaves Sub-Zero alive.
Well,
Okay.
I'm guessing you'll kill him after us. All right, Noob Saibot. But
Anyway, going back to what I was asking, though, Tio.
Yeah.
I know that you do consider it the definitive version, but that being said, despite the lack of Papa Nier, would you say that you actually ended up enjoying the remake
Yes,
more?
okay, I was discussing this more with Pedro off commentary. It's more of a fact that the Papa Nier works better as a concept on paper, but the more you delve into the game, the more you realize that a lot of elements just work better with the original age that the character was supposed to have. You know, including stuff like, say, the fact that Kaine falls in love with him, for example. The fact that, for example, one of the things that were severely dampened in the original was Emil, you know, actually developing feelings for the protagonist, which of course had to be toned down due to the age difference. But for in the more recent version, they actually are kept. Like during the sequence of the marriage in Facade, you know, Emil expresses the fact that he actually absolutely loves, you know, marriages and all. And when Vice comments that he needs to find, you know, like a girl or something, Emil expresses, you know, doubt in that, giving confirmation of the fact that they intended this character to be actually gay. You know, that's one of the things that was actually omitted in the original release. But the point, Jova, is that simply put, it works better with Bro Nier in mind. That being said, the section of the gauntlet that you can access on thanks to the diary, which I will showcase also from the original for one of our extras part of the original. Sorry.
And they're defeated.
I should thank you. You probably saved my life.
Probably.
Story,
Probably
bro.
you did.
Seem human. He is Noob Saibot.
Oh
a
man,
warrior
the
from
script
another
for this
realm.
game is
Something else.
Well, I mean, apparently this was the last mainline script.
It's a long story, Taven. Yeah.
I'm going wait. Who wrote the script for Mortal Kombat versus DC?
Yeah, I think it was the first one was written by an actual proper writer, not John
I'm gonna
Vogel.
check in the meantime, Dave. Don't
Because
worry.
the dialogue in versus DC actually sounds professionally written.
yeah.
As opposed to something that sounds like as opposed to dialogue that I'd write.
I think I think I'm starting to see the major issue with the main timeline here. Well, okay, and by that I mean the original one. By the point of games like 6 and 7, I feel like they were just kind of behind the times in some avenues.
No.
Now, the gameplay still held up, but stuff like having the story mode mainly be held in, more so your trainer mode, as opposed to being, the main campaign up top, I feel like this was a bit of an outdated practice.
Also,
at this point.
note, MK vs. DC was written only by John Vogel.
Oh, there you
Huh.
go. Oh, okay.
I guess
well,
he just improved.
I guess he got better.
It's the item Mother left me to help with the quest.
Yeah. So much better. He didn't write another game after that.
The warriors.
Well,
Honestly,
let's remember,
I-
it's the final Midway game. They didn't really have the money to hire a professional writer.
Me information that could lead me to that.
Yeah, they had enough to get the
warrior.
DC
He
characters.
said they're called the Red Dragon Clan.
This was
His
sort of
Lin
a
Kuei
stepping stone
recently
into
located
Warner
a
Brothers
stronghold.
buying
It's
them, so I
in
can see
Shard
how that came to be.
I would
Let's
like
just say,
to
let's just say,
visit
Joe
the
Dwebs, that was a desperate move on their part. They were just at that point they were basically just throwing shit at the wall, praying something would stick.
And
Did
honestly,
it work?
yeah, well, considering
Well-
that they're alive as NeverRealm and arguably better than ever before.
Well,
under WB,
it's like
yeah,
a it's
there you
like
go.
a, like a MK versus DC is regarded as an unfinished game that's at the very least still good enough.
I like if the story holds up as well.
It's fine, yeah. I guess Warner Brothers thought that too because they bought all of Midway's assets.
Defend the stronghold.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're
Oh,
dealing with the
goody.
Red Dragon.
Great.
Hey, remember guys, the Red Dragon are totally way better than those pussies at the Black Dragon. 'Cause the
Totally.
Red Dragon are the true ones. And why are these guys a threat? Like, look, I get that the Red Dragon can be supposedly dangerous and all, but come on, at this stage of the game, these guys are cannon fodder. Also,
Yeah.
we technically dealt with, what was the blonde guy's name again?
Cobra.
Cobra.
Cobra. And he's supposed to be part of the Red Dragon,
No,
ain't he?
Black Dragon.
Black Dragon.
Oh, right, yeah, new Black Dragon members.
Yeah, at this point in the timeline, Cabal
God,
is...
there were a lot of characters at this point that just you could easily lose track of.
So what you're saying, Jove, is that the Commandants grew more numerous and the fabric of reality started to tear apart?
Again. I don't always think that a reboot is the best option. I do feel like they could have salvaged stuff, but I'm not gonna say like I don't see where they were coming from the more we plunge into this game. Like, yeah, they could have arguably fixed it, but as far as they knew, they wouldn't even be able to.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, to answer your question, to finish of what did answer your question from before, the section where you want there is kind of like an mini arcade mode where you pass through a mini gauntlet of just levels with techno remix on it. But it's also present in the original that I will showcase. In this new version, as you, as instead Papaneer, and they even brought back Jameson Pierce to actually, speak the two lines that he actually speaks to Viren Weiss. So that was pretty neat.
Neat.
Stop, Taven.
Hey, Fujin.
Fujin.
His design for Fujin is absolutely horrible. Look at his face.
Look at his face.
What happened?
Oh
to
my
you?
god, what's wrong with your face?
Basically, someone had to get the short end of the budget treatment, and I drew the shortest. The shortest straw.
Seriously, this guy looks like he's seen some crap, and his hair
Wow.
doesn't move. It's all, geez, how much gel did you use, my dude?
Well, Jover, Well, Trevor, we are 7 games in, so maybe he has seen a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, kind of, yeah.
Like, look at this. He looks better here than he does in game.
Yeah, that's his.
Yeah, it's like the reverse. Where in this case, the in-game model looks better than the model in the cutscene.
That's because it's a
But
2D
yeah,
render. 2D renders are
If
cheaper to
you-
produce, so.
But yeah, Fusion was supposedly supposed to be the replacement for Raiden at some point.
Oh, well, that's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned Tomb Raider, Pedro. The one game in the original run of
Wait, when did he mention Tomb Raider?
I've always said Tomb Raider games.
No, I did not. I said that 2D models are cheaper to produce. than
I
3D
must have
models.
got the two bit and that.
But
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah,
like Jova
again,
said,
I
yes. At
mean-
the end of Mortal Kombat 4, Fujin does become the new Predator of Elf Realm, whereas Raiden becomes an Elder God. But then in the Alliance, Raiden forsook his Elder God status and immortality so he could help fight the Deadly Alliance because, well, once again, the Elder Gods wouldn't bother lifting a finger.
I wonder if you ever
Deja
tried.
vu.
I wonder if you ever tried convincing them. You know, Elder Gods. If you don't do something, soon there won't be much to rule. And then who do you think they'll come after?
So basically,
Okay.
the Elder Gods are just as stupid as Quan Chi. Got
I
it.
don't remember the exact words, but something like that happens in MK9, and the other gods just shrug, believing that will just be fine.
So like I said, Mortal Kombat gods are stupid.
Yeah.
moving on.
How did they get to be gods?
Because they were born.
Do you really need to waste time figuring out why they're hunting
They were-
you? I mean, and isn't it
They were
obvious?
born
It's because,
really.
also, isn't it obvious it's because you're intruding on their land, my dude?
Well, anyway, Webs. In this case, it actually really is like this. When a mommy god and a daddy god love each other very much, they produce a little baby god. So yeah, that actually is the basic case. Yes. 'Cause,
Yeah, I mean,
Again, Taven's a real sucky god. If how much he's gotten his butt kicked is anything to go by.
Okay, that I can give a bit. It's a classic mythology tells us that even younger gods were foolish and prone to make mistakes, and have like an upbringing. That's the entire point of the talking of mythos to actually reach a point where our this deity became the way it is.
Wait. So those capsules didn't break to your super attack, but regular punches will break them apart just fine. Sure, why not? Doesn't make any sense, as Pedro mentioned. Seriously, why are the super attacks weaker than just your average punch?
Because
It's more of the fact that being energy based, they do not have the same impact.
And now, time
to
stop.
some objects.
either that or he just has really strong fists.
And now we're about to get a plot twist after this particular fight. Anyway, what the time
Oh my
stop
God,
does
it
exactly.
turns out-
Yes.
It turns out Katrina was actually the leader of the Red Dragons all along.
No, I got it.
There you go.
I got the twist. It turns out the player character was the leader all along.
No. You're not too far though.
Which one of us?
Dwebs.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, I'll get to it. The time stop does exactly what you'd think it would do. It stops the enemies in their tracks for a few seconds. Yeah, that's basically it. The Red Dragon Bomber. Me-17 Bomber.
So maybe we should stop him doing that move. It's wiping us all out. Any suggestions?
Sorry, time stop.
Cool.
Time stop. This could be a pretty useful ability to pretty much use for the rest of the game by the looks of it.
How does this guy
Oh,
know
the
the whole
Jova.
war by himself?
Dun dun dun!
Older.
I am
Mm-hmm.
much older than you, big brother.
So you were awakened long ago.
Dagon was the leader of the
The Red Dragon, yeah. In fact, this is kept in future games where Kenshi has a rivalry against
I
him.
formed the Red Dragon
Wait,
clan.
so they brought Taven back for the reboot.
So there you go.
No,
The-
no, only name. It's more like in the background.
So there you go. The Red Dragon, the boring Red Dragon nobody cares about, is actually the creation of this guy. Truly, this guy is an evil mastermind.
Well,
Which
that's
in
the thing.
turns,
Apparently, doesn't this mean that the ritual was all messed up because the two brothers were supposed to
Yes.
work in tandem and whatnot?
Yeah, that's the entire point.
Basically, Joe, the Dagon wants the prize all to himself.
To kill you.
Even though, doesn't he know they're supposed to destroy the timeline?
Losing it to you.
Because that could only be one.
I'm guessing Dagon doesn't want to destroy the timeline. He plans to use the prize in another way.
Oh my god, I love this. Hey, Grandmaster! I know that you're in the middle of this immediate conversation, but please let me just walk up and interrupt.
Also, it's you.
Hey, Mavado.
Still
Should I
boring
care?
as always.
Yay. Anyway, what's that fighting pose? Whatever.
Like he wants to play. Considering also with the cape, with the red and black cape, he wants to play tango.
But, yeah, again, so you're telling me that Dagon, who's a god also, formed the Red Dragon, who in turn...
Which in turn led to the creation of a black dragon. Yeah.
Oh my god, so this
which in turn worried the cat that killed the rat that ate the dog that lived in the House of Champions.
So this is pretty much the equivalent of Final Fantasy VII's Crisis Core. You see, it turns out this guy was responsible for the villains you enjoy later on. Yeah.
To be fair,
They already did. The whole Red Dragon thing was also being applied from, I think, either Deception or the Alliance already drove in some kind of fashion. By saying that the Black Dragon was the creation of
But the whole
the
Dagon
Red Dragon. No, the
thing,
Dagon
just
is a new
adds
thing for
another
this
layer.
game, but the franchise is no stranger to do that.
Actually, come to think of it, wasn't there a different leader of the Red Dragon in the last
Nope.
few games
No.
anyway?
No,
And then
we never actually met the. Well, I mean, it was kind of. We kind of assumed Mavado was in the first game because they never flat out told us what he was about, but now we know. But yeah, and like I said, Joe, but technically this doesn't contradict anything. So technically, it is fair to establish this.
Yes, it is. But let me put it like this. Yes, technically it doesn't contradict anything. It does unfortunately fall into the problem of just, let's throw
Where is he?
everything
Where is
we
Blaze?
can.
demanded Taven. Mavado's only response was a sly smile. As Taven reached for his foe to make his point more senselessly, Mavado snapped away in a concealed elastic cord. He disappeared through a hatch which sealed behind.
You could have just mentioned that it was like a grappling hook. No, it actually that's the cord.
What kind of stupid theatrics are we getting into now?
The movie Steel with Shaquille O'Neal.
well, that's Jova, that's the thing. I can't call these theatrics. We don't see them.
See, Dwibs, you just have to use your imagination.
No, I do not. This is a visual medium.
So how much of an excuse is tight budget at this point?
Whoa.
It depends. I mean, sometimes. Well, I mean that's the thing. Well, Jova, maybe they would have saved a bit more of the budget if you didn't have those pointless cameos.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. That's what I mentioned earlier. Like, it's a similar thing with Bound Wonderworld. Maybe you should have focused on not having everyone there and just focus on having the real heavy hitters and focus
Which
on
is
the
why,
Heike, you know?
which is why Deception is regarded as the highlight of the PS2 trilogy, because that game feels a lot more focused, because since it has way less fighters than Armageddon does with Armageddon, remember, it has every single fighter in the history of the franchise up until this point. As a result, it's much more balanced, it's much more focused, and they were allowed to get as much as they could out of every fighter. Whereas in here, yeah, this was not the right time to make a Mortal Kombat trilogy 2.
You know what?
So even Kano was about to be tricked by the Red Dragon.
Well, Kano is
know what?
kind of stupid, so I'm not surprised by
Yeah.
that.
Again, now roster-wise, I get it. Bringing everyone back for the grand finale. It's just that, unfortunately, and you know what? Maybe the gameplay itself is better, but I'll admit, this game in particular, from the fact that it has less modes and Deception and whatnot, it does feel like an overall lesser product. And I do get why it's like that. But, to be fair, let's imagine you had just your general consumer in the day. And let's be honest, back when this game first came out, video game studios were not nearly as transparent as we push for them to be these days. And finding out the development problems or whatnot was, well, probably something only somebody with the company would have known by. So, as far as an average consumer goes, they were still paying good money for stuff. And in a lot of ways, I don't want to say this game is bad, but it does feel like a step down.
It is.
From the last game in quite a few ways.
Well, I mean, the story's more fun, mainly because it isn't just like 3 hours of Sujinko.
Oh,
Honestly,
that's fine.
Is the story more fun though? Because sure. Okay, look.
Like I said, Jova, pick your poison. Dwebs picked his poison. You picked the other poison. Yes, too.
I honestly don't even mind all the cameos from the different fighters, but just run away. At least it's a good excuse to actually showcase them a bit more, or for legal that may be.
I do like showing them, but like Grizz, I'm a bit annoyed with the whole resorting to having to literally write, oh, they disappeared that, and then that's the last you see of them in the game. Especially for characters like Sonya flipping Blade.
I'll wait till after this. Hey, Quan Chi.
Hey, look at that! It's Quan Chi and his free posse from Mythologies.
Give me what you have found.
What is he doing here?
Because, like you yourself said, Joe, we gotta get everybody in here for the grand finale.
Cool, sweetie.
Yeah, big mistake.
Well, at least Quan Chi is still awesome.
Now, ladies, we don't need to get violent.
Yes.
Sadly, we had to, Jova.
Hey, Serena.
Yeah.
And
Jataka. Oh, I remember those names.
Yeah, again, the
Mortal
three from
Kombat
Mythology Sub-Zero.
And Serena also makes us.
They brought them back as well.
Yeah, and Serena also makes a small cameo in Mortal Kombat 10.
So much for breaking free, eh, Serena?
Where was I? It boils down to this, Dwebs. Even if you do think the story is more fun, outside of the story mode, the game is kind of lackluster because the fighting itself is more unbalanced than it was in Deception. There's less modes to play around with, and the overall, even the arcade mode suffer from budget cuts. Let's just say the endings of the arcade mode are not the best.
Wait, so they're even less than Deception, which was mainly just stills with text put over them.
Well, the whole stills thing in Deadly Alliance and Deception, you can at the very least vouch for the fact that they were just sticking to their formula that they've had since MK1.
The Mortal Kombat 4 is just that cutscenes were going to be
True.
the future of the arcade mode.
True, and considering how wonderfully produced those cutscenes were, I don't blame them for going back into their safe zone for a bit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, those cutscenes are wonderful.
Again, Jov, even in 9X and 11, the arcade endings are actually still stills.
Yeah.
Well, they're more like moving pictures, but yeah, they're relatively still.
Yes, they are wonderful to enjoy ironically, but if you take out the ironic part, they're embarrassingly bad. Let's face it.
Yeah, well, that's because John Tobias is barely a better writer than John Vogel.
Again, I wouldn't call John Vogel an outright bad writer. He did give us the Mortal Kombat versus DC plot.
And there's the actual Red Dragon.
Get it? They've got a
And
red
it's Reptile.
Carl, get away
No.
from him, lizard. I am Reptile, and I do not answer to you. Fight.
Reptile looks like a mummy in this game.
Why does every battle always? Why does every time I try to talk to somebody, it always ends in a fight?
I guess people don't like you, Taven. But yeah.
That's so Taven.
No, well, let me put it this way, Dwebs, and this will become very apparent in the reboot trilogy. He's a better story writer than he is a script writer. because the dialogue in the Reboot trilogy actually is infinitely better than the dialogue we see in these games.
Well, plus they're delivered by actual actors.
Yeah, because in the Reboot trilogy, John Vogel only outlines the story, not the script itself.
So Pedro, I'm curious, do you get bored with this game?
Not personally, but I can kind of enjoy this as a schlocky mess that's at the very least fun to, enjoy ironically.
I do get the feeling that I feel like part of this game's, tension increasing may have been from it. Well, okay. When this game was it advertised as being the end of Mortal Kombat as the fans knew it for the time being?
Yes, if I remember correctly, the opening movie was actually part of the promotional materials. They actually did, and the opening movie, I think, is pretty blatant about what the main intention of this game is.
So let's say this. Was this like a Sonic Adventure 2 case where fans thought, this is gonna be the end of Mortal Kombat, we best get in this, and obviously that didn't happen,
Honestly,
but it's how they felt.
Honestly, I never really got that. I mean, is it really just because of the whole farewell Sonic forever? For all we know, that was just a mistranslation. Yeah, for all we know, that was just a mistranslation. But anyway, cutscene.
Again. To be fair, we didn't have as much insight on that sort of stuff back then.
You could have just turned it off.
But that wouldn't have been badass enough, Dwibs.
So is this why they're called the Red Dragon? Because they've had a dragon trapped in their basement all this time?
No, it's just a kind of a visual gag, because this Red Dragon already existed, because he was created by
yeah, but they did enslave him to create the hybrids, as Kiro mentioned.
I am partially to blame. Long ago, I lost.
So is this guy trying to do any McKellen impression?
I mistakenly took it as the signal to awaken your brother, but it was too soon. Reviving him early had unforeseen effects.
So you're technically the reason that Dagon came early, which turned Dagon evil, which then caused him to create the Red Dragon, which then created the Black Dragon, which is why we had Kano as a bad guy who killed one of Sonya's old partners, and that's why she went on revenge on him.
So basically what you're telling me, Red...
Jova, I'm gonna take this over whatever Deception did in tying things together. This is much more coherent.
So basically, Red Dragon, what you're telling me is that this entire mess is all your fault.
Yep.
All because he woke up Dagon too early. God damn.
I woke up Dagon and he chose violence.
So basically, it's like Gross from Last Battle. He woke up one day amnesiac and he decided to turn to a life of violence. I can't remember who I am. I guess I'll just turn to a life of violence.
Oh, cool! He's gonna destroy this place off screen.
Yes, I'm going to destroy. I'm going to blow this up, but we don't have the budget to animate that explosion. So go on, Taven, so I can do this while you're not here.
Let's just get about a text to
How
tell
about
us
this?
that
How about this, Ibs?
destroyed it.
How about this? I'll just close this off with one of my favorite jokes from Muppets 2011. Wow, that was a very expensive-looking explosion. I'm surprised we had that in the budget.
Oh, but look, we got
There
a
you go,
still.
you get that.
Oh, there you go. You get a still. That's something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's visual, so I guess.
I can hear the struggle in your voice, Dwibs.
I'm trying to give this something at least. I mean, it's better than those dull, audio-only cutscenes in Special Forces.
Yeah, definitely. No, special for, like I said, for as messy as these games get, it never gets any worse than the spin-offs from the 90s. No, no, seriously. Both forces for being boring as shit, and both apologies for being the most frustrating thing ever created by mankind. Because this game is at the very least playable. That's my basic reaction. I'll take this over apologies any day, because once again, this game is playable at least. I can play this without I can play this without feeling like throwing the controller across the room. So there is that. It's not much, I know, but it's something, goddammit.
But yeah, regarding to feelings about that though, Pedro, like, well, again, back in the earlier 2000s, we didn't get as much info on development of games as, say, is a lot more easier to get now thanks to the increases of the internet and whatnot. So again, for all some people knew, Sonic Adventure 2 was going to be it, and well,
Yeah, because of the whole
certainly seemed
uncertain
like a grand
future of
enough
Sega at the
case.
time. But then they were purchased by Sega Sammy, and Sega Sammy kind of started stripping away their original soul little bit by bit by bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, until we arrived at the company we have now.
What, the company that does...
Well, okay. Never mind. To be fair, they've gotten better in recent years, but there was a period somewhere around there where it was really rough for Sega fans.
I mean, that'd be like saying, that'd be like saying, the original purpose of Level 5 was lost, and then someone says, but they made Professor Layton.
Well, what I mean, Dwebs, is that Sega. One of the big things of Sega back in the 90s was their penchant for creating games that were widely invented that nobody else would. Like for example, Echo the Dolphin. You might not like that game, but you have to admit, nobody but in that time period, nobody but Sega would greenlight a game like that.
But there might have been a good reason why no one would also greenlight it.
Well, I like the games, but again, I'm not going to go into a rant about that.
Anyway,
That's the next part, everybody. Now we're in the NetherRealm, so let's see what we can find.
Yeah.
See ya.
See it.